Sometimes when you're working in the round, the amount of stitches that you have will be too small for a standard circular needle. So you have different options. You can use a small circular like this, or you can use the double pointed needles, or another option is the magic loop. So this involves using a long cable. So the one I've got here is quite long, so it doesn't need to be that long, but that depends how many stitches you are working with. So the first thing we need to do is just cast on the number of stitches that you need in your pattern. For this example, I'm just going to cast on 40 stitches, so just use the preferred method. I'm going to use long tail cast on. Okay, so just cast on however many stitches your pattern requires. That's 2, 3, 4. So I've got the right side facing me here. You can see if I turn it over, there's the bumps, sort of pearl bumps on the back. So I need to make sure that my stitches are all nice and straight and lined up. My working yarn is held to the back out of the way, and I'm going to roughly find sort of halfway between the stitches. It doesn't have to be exact, so I think it's about there. So I'm going to slide these stitches down, and then at my halfway point here I'm going to sort of separate the stitches, and I'm all the time making sure that these don't twist, that the right side is facing all the time. So I'm just going to gently fold that and pull the cable through all the way. Okay, now the stitches on the left hand side which don't have the working yarn on them, I want to push those and slide those right onto the needle tip. So they're now ready for working. The other stitches, I make sure they're not twisted, so they should be the two sides, the two right sides facing each other. I'm going to pull those a little bit onto the cable. So they want to be about midway between the back loop here that we've pulled through and the needle tip on the right hand side. And I'm holding them together with my thumb here. So I've got the right sides facing each other. You can see they're not twisted, they're just pulled together. So they're kind of mirroring each other. And the working yarn is held there to the back. So I'm going to insert this right hand needle into the stitch on the left, just as normal. And I'm going to grab my working yarn, just tension that as normal around my fingers, and I'm just going to knit that first stitch. And you can see what it's doing, it's just joining the stitches that are on the cable with the stitches that are on the needle. So I'm just going to tighten that first stitch. I'm going to knit the next stitch. So I'm just knitting these stitches. Obviously, if you're working a pattern that's telling you to purl, then you should be purling, but the same principle applies. Okay, so that's my second one. I'm just going to pull that a bit tighter. Just try to close that gap. You can pull the stitches, the actual loops there, and tighten those up. and then I'm going to start knitting the rest of the stitches. Now because it's the first row and it's a cast on row, they might seem a little bit tight, so just take your time just to carefully work these so that they don't slip off the needle. Okay, so just keep working along until we get to the last stitch on this needle. Knitting that last stitch. Okay, so you can see, oops, that we've got basically 2 rows of stitches that are mirroring each other. So the cast on edge is touching, it's together between the needle and the cable. So this is the row of stitches we've just worked here. So what we need to do is these stitches here, we're going to pull the cable. So we've got the working yarn in the stitches on the right hand side. We're going to pull the other cable to bring the needle on the left down and through those stitches. Now it might be that you have to sort of wiggle them on there because they are the cast on stitches, so they are a little bit tight. Okay, so we're going to wiggle those right up towards the end of the needle so that we can work those now. So the stitches on the right hand needle where the working yarn is hanging from, just make sure nothing's twisted, so they should be facing each other. We've got the working yarn here. I'm just going to hold that with my finger and I'm going to pull the needle that has these stitches attached to the working yarn. I'm just going to pull those through gently. I'm not pulling them right to the other end of the cable. I'm just pulling the cable through a little bit, just enough so that I can loop it back and work comfortably in this stitch here. So I'm inserting the needle as normal. The yarn is held at the back. And we're going to pull that nice and tight so the cable, stitches on the cable should be pulled towards the stitches on the needle. Okay, that's the first one. And just tighten that. And the next one, tighten that one as well. And then just continue to knit along. And the last stitch. Okay, so again, pull the left yarn, the left cable through, just twizzle those stitches onto the needle. Oops, that's come off. And we're pulling our right needle tip with the working yarn attached out and around. Okay, so one of the common issues that people find with using the magic loop method is that if you are constantly splitting the cable at the same point each time, you may get a gap in the stitches like a ladder. So one way to avoid this is to use a travelling cable. So just count a few stitches down, so around 8 stitches, and I'm going to grab the cable, just pinch it in half, oops, just fold the cable and just pull it through. but what I'm pulling is I'm pulling the top bit, so I'm pulling where the needle is attached. So I'm pulling that right hand needle just through a few stitches at the end. Okay, but the rest of them are still on the cable here, and the ones I'm about to work are still on the needle. I'm going to grab my working yarn from the back, and this is where I would introduce a stitch marker, because we're changing where we're kind of starting and ending. It's not the same each time. I would put a stitch marker on. And I'm just going to start knitting across. So after a while it will start to feel a little bit tight where I'm knitting. So at that point I will just pull the cable, and again just move a few stitches down and pull it through. So I'm pulling the needle tip down through just those few stitches, and then I'm also going to pull the cable end so that the stitches that I've just worked join up with the other ones at the bottom of the cable. So it almost looks like it would do if you were doing double pointed needles, but you've got these loops of cable to the left and the right. Now obviously I'm only working with a small number of stitches, so there isn't as much point doing that, but if you've got a large number of stitches, it's a good way to stop getting the ladders at the join each time. Okay, so now I've got to the end of that needle. I'm going to just grab a point somewhere down here and pull the cable through. Now I'm trying not to pull it through where we pulled it through last time, where the stitch marker is. So I'm pulling the cable so that the needle now comes through those left hand stitches, and the stitches on the right hand needle where the working yarn is, we're going to slide those down just a little bit so that it reaches the cable. Count about 5 or 6 or more stitches down and just pull that through. So we're pulling the stitches onto the needle, and then we're pulling the cable so that these stitches here will join up with the rest of them, like that. Okay. And then just carry on working round like that. Always make sure that the yarn is held to the back. So if you're changing the position of the cable join each time, you'll find that you eliminate the ladders that might have otherwise formed in your knitting. So I just wanted to give you an alternative method for joining in the round. So these are my cast on stitches, my 40. I'm just going to cast on 1 extra stitch. Okay, and I'm going to slide the stitches onto the cable. I'm going to count around 7, 8 stitches down, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and I'm going to fold the cable at that point and pull it through. and I'm just going to pull those stitches, so those 8 stitches, onto that needle. Now again, we need to make sure that nothing is twisted, and then we're going to split the other stitches about halfway between what's left on the cable. So if I just pick a point there, fold the cable. Okay, so I'm pulling the left hand needle down and through those stitches. Okay, so what you should end up with is a few stitches on the right hand needle, and they're attached to the working yarn. We've got some stitches on the cable here, and we've got stitches on the left hand needle, and they're almost forming a triangle. And then either side of these bottom cable stitches, you've got a nice big loop of cable this side and a nice big loop of cable at this side. So I'm going to grab my working yarn and slide the stitch from my left hand needle, which was our first cast on stitch, slide it over purlwise onto the right hand needle. Then I'm going to use my needle tip to slide to slip this last stitch, the one that's attached to the working yarn. I'm going to slip that up and over and off the needle. And what that means then is that I can tighten this, so that last cast on stitch that we made is now tightening around the first stitch that we made. So that just closes the loop and gives it a nice tight join on that first stitch. So now I'm going to either put on a stitch marker or use the safety pin marker so that I know where the beginning of the round is. You can also identify it obviously from the yarn tail, and then I'm just going to knit as normal. So if you watched the previous part of this video, this is the same principle as the travelling cable. So you're just pulling a few stitches onto the needle on the right hand side, which just means that you can close the join a bit better on the stitches, so there's no gaps. Okay, so I'm going to work along until it starts to feel like it's getting a little bit too tight. Then I'm going to you can now carry on working as you did before, where you're splitting the stitches in half, or you can carry on doing the travelling cable. So as with any new technique, this will probably feel quite strange and difficult at first, and it also helps if your cable is nice and loose. This one has been stored looped, so it's a little bit tight. I think you can steam cables a little bit if you want to try and loosen them off, or soak them in some warm water before you use them, and that should sort of slacken them off a little bit so they'll stop kind of jumping back like this one is.